Hey guys, welcome back to BeyondMilestones podcast. It's your host Daniela Musu, and I'm so glad that you guys decided to join me for another new episode of the podcast today. I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about 5 things that I've learned in the past 7 months. I know that 7 months is like a random number, but the past 7 months have been my junior year of college and then some. So I thought that'd be really fun to talk about, just reflecting back on what's happened and just pulling 5 things that I've learned. I highly recommend being able to do this for yourself, like looking back on a year that you've had or a season of life and being able to pull things that you've learned and things that you want to take with you. And so I did that and I want to share with you guys. Yeah, so before we get into today's episode, if you guys are interested in just joining the podcast community, being a part of it, you should definitely follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I post a ton on there, just like motivational stuff, little reminders for your week, journal prompts, whatever it is, it's on there. So you should definitely follow and just enjoy that. But yeah, so let's get into today's episode. So 5 things that I have learned in the past 7 months. I am really excited to share these with you guys because I feel like these things that I have learned, and definitely lessons that I learned, but also things that I'm just taking with me into these next just eras of life. I think it's just such an amazing thing to be able to look back on your life and kind of analyze, like, where was I killing it and where was I actually being killed, you know? One of my friends says glows and grows, and I kind of like that, but like, where were you like slaying the game, killing it, and where do you think that you need to see yourself grow? And so I know that people love to do at the end of the year. I love to do at the end of every month. Okay, so thing number 1 is that the people and the things that you surround yourself with will quietly start to shape your mindset, will start to shape your energy, will start to shape who you are as a person. So that's something that I have learned honestly throughout college. I feel like people, things, just the things that you watch, the things that you eat, that just everything is constantly affecting you, whether you think it is or not. When I started to surround myself with people that had goals and like ambitions and dreams and got excited about stuff, I started to want to grow as a person, create more goals, be more ambitious, try more new things, you know? So it's kind of like whoever you're surrounding yourself with, you're going to start to kind of take bits and pieces of them. And I wish that that wasn't the case, where when you surround yourself with people, if they're doing something bad, like, you don't do it. And I feel like we can try to make ourselves not, but at the end of the day, the quote where it's like, show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are, or like your 5 closest friends kind of are who you are. I also learned that like things, so different like books I was reading or different shows I was watching would make me feel more sad and moody than others, or like, different types of music. I used to love listening to Rod Wave my freshman year of college. I love listening to Rod Wave, but the thing is, like, his music is so good, but it's really depressing. And I feel like I would just have like really sad thoughts a lot of the time, and my mood would be overall like kind of low. And so I kind of just like migrated away from it. I didn't really know like, oh, like, this is why I'm doing it. I just like kind of stopped listening to Rod Wave, and I honestly started to notice a change in my mood and like a change in the way that I felt. And so I feel like movies, music, TV shows, the things that you allow around you really do play a role in your habits, your behaviors, the way that you think, your mindset. If you're constantly around people, and I'm kind of going through this now where it's like, I'm around people that say certain things and use like different types of phrases I wouldn't really use, but now they're starting to like be in my subconscious. And the other day I caught myself like saying something like that to myself, and I don't even talk to myself like that. Like, why would I say that? It's because I've been around people that it's kind of like normal to say things like that, but for me, I don't want to do that. And so in those situations, at least for me, what I learned was to just leave, distance yourself from it. But if you can't, maybe it's like work or something like that, reinforce what you know for yourself. Like, before I went to my job, every single day last semester, I would literally pray in the car, like pray for the people, pray for my coworkers, or pray for my attitude. Like, maybe the people coming in aren't as super happy, it is super early, maybe people have attitudes, but I don't want them to affect my attitude. So I would pray and remind myself like who I am, like today's gonna be a great day, like all that kind of stuff, just kind of priming my mind for the fact that yes, like maybe my environment won't be the best for me, but it's not going to affect me. When you surround yourself with people that are going where you want to go, you're going to start to go where you want to go. But when you're surrounding yourself with people that are hindering you from reaching your best self, you're going to stop striving for that. And I think something that I truly really gathered from that whole like first point was that I think it was hard for me to like leave certain situations or leave certain friends or friend groups because I was like, well, I've always known this. But I think that it's important to remind yourself that you're allowed to leave spaces that no longer serve you. It's okay to like leave. It's okay to say goodbye. It's okay to just not talk to a friend anymore. Maybe they're just not the greatest for you. It's okay to just like leave a show that you've been watching that you love, or just stop listening to an artist. It doesn't make you weird. It doesn't make you think like you're overthinking everything and that it's not actually affecting you. Like maybe it is and you just need to cut it off, or maybe they are affecting you, just need to cut them off. Like, yeah, it's gonna be weird and it's gonna be uncomfortable, but in the long run it's gonna be benefiting you, and you are the important person in this situation, and your mental health and your well-being is important. So I feel like even if you've known someone or known something or a certain habit for so long, just because you've known that for so long, or that's what you've called home, or that's what you've made your place in or made your thing for so long, like just because you've done that doesn't mean that you can't step away. You can literally walk away at any point. And if people judge you for that, that's on them, because you're working on what's better for you, what's good for you. And so that's something that in the past 7 months that I've really come to love and learn, is that you can just walk away from things that don't serve you, and it's fine. It's literally a-okay. In the earlier episodes in the podcast, Taj and I always used to say that it's never too late to change your life. And I feel like that first point really goes with that. If there's habits that you've been doing that just don't push you forward, towards your goal, you can cut them off. Just because you've been doing them for your entire life doesn't mean that you can't switch around. Like if you want to say like, I want to be a morning person, but I've never been a morning person my whole life, there's no way I can be a morning person. That's such a lie. You can make steps towards becoming a morning person. If you truly want something to happen, you can make it happen. So that's point number one. Point number two is that your mindset can be your biggest enemy, or it can be your biggest blessing. I think that self-doubt and low self-esteem and all that stuff can block opportunities that you could have had if you thought that you deserved it. I think that I've grown to really like respect who I am and love myself, and see that in the past 7 months that, you know what, like I am smart enough to be in these spaces as these people, and I can do this. Maybe I don't have the same background as them, and maybe I need a little bit more time, but that's okay. Like a little bit more time never hurt anyone. I can take my time and get this done. Just because other people are doing it faster than me or doing it at this rate doesn't mean that I'm not enough. And so don't allow what you think of yourself, your negative self-image, to block you from different blessings that God has prepared for you. Because I feel like God is truly just opening these doors for us. But if we're like, oh, like they don't actually want me, I'm not going to go, or they don't really want to be my friend, or I don't actually deserve that job, like I'm not going to be good at it, you're shutting all these doors that you prayed for him to open. But because you don't believe in who you are, you don't believe in yourself, you don't think that you deserve this or that, you're saying no. Don't let your mindset be your hindrance. Let it be your biggest blessing. Start to switch your inner self-talk to like, I am smart, I am beautiful, I got this, I can do this. And I know that you'll definitely start to see things shift. For a really long time, I've had negative self-esteem, like negative just like self-talk. Like I always think like I'm not good enough and all that stuff. But once I started switching to like, maybe I'm not as good, but I'm getting better, or maybe I just can't do it like them, but I can do it in my own way. For example, like being a tour guide, I faced so much imposter syndrome. When I was doing my training, people were like amazing and they just knew everything. And I was like, I just can't do it that way. And so I started to do it in my own way. There was a point where I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think I can be a tour guide because I'm not good like everyone else. But then I was like, you know what? Like I fought for this, and I also told everyone that I wanted to be a tour guide, and I got the job. So I low-key have to stick with it. And so it's like, I'm just going to do this in my own way. And so I started doing my tours in the way that I wanted to do them. And I started having so much fun, and God truly opened up so many doors for me with different connections with families and getting tour guide of the week and things like that. And realizing that I love like just like talking to people and love connecting with people in that way. And so if I had stopped because I thought that I wasn't doing good enough, or I thought that I had to do it in that way that other people were doing it, and my mindset was so bad, and my negative self-talk was getting in the way, if I tapped into all that negative self-esteem, that negative self-talk, I wouldn't have been able to reach the goals as a tour guide that I did, and I wouldn't have been able to go as far as I did, So don't let your negative self-talk be a hindrance, but let positive self-talk, let your mindset be a blessing to you. I think about it when you're running or when you're working out or when you're doing something hard, when you're telling yourself like, oh, I could do hard things. I can do anything for 10 more minutes. I can do this. I've done this before, like things like that. You're more inclined to continue. Whereas if you're like, okay, this sucks, let's stop. Like you're probably going to stop. But if you're like, no, I got this. Like, no, I can do this. Like, you're going to keep going. So let your mindset be a blessing. Okay, here is one that I just am like, wow, like I'm so glad I finally like understood this. But learning to think for yourself is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. I was someone that really heavily depended on the opinions of other people. Like if I wanted to do something, but someone was like, oh, you shouldn't do that, I wouldn't do it. And I always thought that if I had a thought, it probably was wrong compared to everyone else's thoughts, or it was inferior to everybody else. And that literally like hit me in the face so many different times because it's like I wanted to do this or I love this and I'm super passionate about this because other people talk negative about it or I saw some weird stuff about it on TikTok or something. I didn't want to participate in it. And that set me back in so many different ways. And I think like once you're able to think for yourself, it can apply to so many things, like your sense of style, your sense of fashion, what you do with your hair, jewelry. It can look like different hobbies and different things that you want to tap into, like music. It can look like changing your career path. It can look like so many different things. Like, but once you start to think for yourself, like, I want to do this because I want to do this, or I'm passionate about this because I'm passionate about it, and you can't take that away from me. Once you get that in your head, like I can think for myself and what I'm saying is true to me and that's okay. Game changer, truly game changer. I think that sometimes when I was having conversations with people and maybe they didn't agree, I was like, oh, yeah, you're so right. Like, I'm like actually not smart. Like, why was I thinking that? But it's like, no, like I had that thought because of different things. That's why I had that thought. And that's so valid. I get to have that thought and they get to have their thought. And both of these thoughts can coexist. And that's okay. So you can think for yourself, like your opinions matter, your thoughts matter. And even if your thoughts are not what everyone else thinks, that doesn't mean that you're completely wrong or that you don't know what you're doing. Like maybe your different unique experiences have created the thoughts that you have, and you get to honor that, and that's so valid. But don't be someone that is so dead set on not changing, because I think that's a bit scary. If you're someone that just like, okay, yeah, I can think my own thoughts, but my thoughts are the right thoughts and everyone else's thoughts are the wrong thoughts, that's not the way to go. I think that having a little bit of flexibility, being able to sit and listen to someone else's thoughts and someone else's perspectives can allow you to grow into a better human. Just being able to be like, okay, I have my thoughts, you have my thoughts, and being able to listen and potentially have your mind changed. Golden, literally golden. So I think that yes, sometimes it's so much fun to just be right, and I love being right, but like sometimes you're just not right. And I think that it is okay to be able to say, hey, maybe I'm not right, but not in a way that's like diminishing your value and not in a way that's disrespecting yourself, because you had those thoughts for a reason. So I know that these kind of sound contradictory and I hope that they don't, but to clarify and to just streamline all that I just said, I think that it's such a blessing when you finally realize that you can think for yourself, that your thoughts are valid, that your opinions matter, that your opinions are valid. We also need to create space for other people's opinions, not that they are true, that they hold truth, but that they're just there. And maybe, just maybe, sometimes our minds can be changed. Number 4 is that growth starts when we step out of our comfort zone and say yes. In the past 7 months, I have said yes to so many things that old me would have said absolutely not to, like for various different reasons. But me saying yes has opened the gates to so many cool opportunities, meeting so many cool new people. Like, oh my gosh, say yes to things, guys. Say yes. You never know what's going to happen. Like, I really think that stepping out of your comfort zone, like just trying something new, can truly change your life. Like, you just never know what the thing that you say yes to can do for you. I think that if there is no risk attached to this thing, just say yes. Just try it out. I think that me saying yes has helped me get closer to some of my friends. It has helped me just experience some really just fun days. Like, I've just had so much fun in the past 7 months just living life. And no, it hasn't been perfect. School's not that fun. Like, life has its ups and downs, but I think that I've had more amazing days than negative days because I have said yes. I've said, yeah, let's go do that. Even if I really didn't want to, I was like, sure, let's try it. Just different things. Like, you just never know. And sometimes it is really scary. There was this one day where I had a friend doing something really fun. I originally said no. I was like, oh no, like I think it'd be weird if I went. But then I was just, you know what? Like, actually, yes. And that was like one of my favorite days. I got to see so many new things. I got to meet so many new different people and I got to get some fun stuff. And I would have never had that amazing day. I didn't even know that I really needed that day, but it was such a fun day and I truly needed that. And I would not have ever experienced that day if I hadn't said yes. And so you just never know. Just say yes. I feel like even if you're just like at a crossroads with someone or an experience you're like scared, like maybe you think people will judge you for it or something, just go for it. Just try it. I saw this quote on TikTok. I really feel like we need to stop saying I saw this quote on TikTok. It's getting a bit much. But I saw this quote on TikTok and it was talking about how like life is so short and you should be able to be embarrassed and make mistakes and just live life the way that you want to live it. And that's something that really scares me is like just making mistakes and being embarrassed and things like that. I just get so embarrassed about everything. But I have said yes to more things. And yes, like some of the things have been embarrassing, but they've most of the time been so much fun. And so, highly recommend. Just step out of your comfort zone. You never know what's going to happen. Okay, number 5 is that there is a different type of joy in doing things solo, in doing things quietly, in doing things on your own. I feel like you build so much confidence within yourself. You start to love yourself more, you get to know yourself more, and that's something that I've absolutely been loving doing in these past 7 months. I think at the beginning of my junior year, one of my goals was to start doing things more alone and just being more alone. My sophomore year spring semester, I was forced to start doing things alone because I just didn't have that many people around me. But junior year, I had people, but I was choosing to do things alone and it was just so much fun. Getting ice cream by myself and just like chilling and people watching, going on little Colonial Williamsburg walks and enjoying seeing people walk around and just seeing people interact and like seeing little kids and dogs and just being able to think and just be and reflect. Like it was just so much fun and I genuinely felt so much joy and peace just being alone. And I feel like if you're someone that truly feels like they can't be alone, like go to dinner alone or go to lunch alone, just try it one time. It's gonna be really uncomfortable. Like the first time I like got dinner alone, like in a public place, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm tweaking or people looking at me. But it's low-key so much fun. Like you get to enjoy your own company. And I feel like once you're secure in yourself, you're able to be secure in yourself around other people. You don't start to change the way that you talk or change the way that you act just to be around someone else. You are secure in who you are and in yourself and your beliefs, and you don't change any of that for the people around you. And so I think that once you're secure in yourself, you get to be yourself around people. And I think that when you are your truest self, and I wish that I knew this a long time ago, but when you are your true self and you're acting your true self around other people, you attract people that love who you are. But if you are acting like a different version of you because you think that that's what people will want, they are starting to love that version of you, not you. And so then it gets exhausting to be that person over and over again because that's not really you. And we do that, and I do it a lot where I just like switch and like hey, like be super happy, and I'm just like hey, like that's on me, like I'm chill. But and so sometimes we're just not ourselves, and that's okay. But I think that once you are secure in yourself and you start to love who you are and you're secure in who you are, you're able to attract people that will love you for you. That's the best thing ever. So those were the 5 things that I've learned in the past 7 months. I've truly just loved growing. When I look back 7 months before this and I look at who I was, I'm a completely different person. I've changed, I have grown, I have evolved. So I think that if there's one takeaway that you can take away from this episode, if you haven't got anything already, is that you are allowed to change and grow and evolve. You are allowed to just completely wake up and be like, you know what? I'm going to travel the world alone. You can make plans to do it and make it happen for yourself. You can wake up and be like, you know what? I don't want to study this anymore. You don't need to. You can wake up and be like, I'm going to run a triathlon next year and start training for it and do it. You can change your life at any point and at any time that you want to. It is your life and you get to do what you want with it. And so I hope that you remind yourself that you get to grow and evolve and change at your own pace, that when you feel like something is no longer serving you, you are allowed to walk away from it. You are not bound to it. It is not your obligation anymore if you don't like it. And so I don't know, I hope that inspires someone. I hope that you're able to keep that within you today. So a quote that I want to leave with you guys is that your life is constantly moving in the direction of your strongest thought. I think that whatever takes up the most, like the capacity of your brain space, is something that you really want. It's something that's constantly in the forefront of your mind. And if something is constantly in the forefront of your mind, you're going in that direction. So if what's on the forefront of your mind are things that positive, things that you want to grow, you're going to consistently grow. But if on the forefront of your mind is like, I hate my life, it sucks, like nothing is good in this world, then your life is going to continue to go down that path, and you're going to continue to not be content in the things around you. So that's the end of today's episode. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. I hope that this episode inspired you in some way. DM me and let me know what your biggest life lesson has been in the past couple months, maybe this past semester, maybe this past school year, whatever you want. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, guys.